An old man spends every afternoon at the park, watching kids play at the playground. One day, a little boy disappeared, and everybody blamed the old man for it. A lonely old widower named Raymond would visit the park every day and sit on a bench in between the playground and the baseball diamond. Each afternoon, the same group of children would head to the diamond to play, and Raymond would quietly observe them as they played. One mom, Stella, noticed Raymond at the park every day but paid no attention to him like everybody else. Instead, she'd quietly walk past him as she took her son to the baseball diamond to play with the rest of the children. However, one day Stella had no choice but to set her sights on Raymond. When she dropped off her son at the field, she saw the team was still missing one boy. "Isn't Robbie usually early?" Stella asked the group while they settled down. The kids nodded their heads. Stella decided to give the young boy's parents a call to clarify whether or not Robbie was coming to play that day. When the parents confirmed that he had left the house to play baseball, panic ensued. "Should we head to the park? My husband and I are about to go to a business meeting. Can you update us if we should make our way there?" the parents asked Stella. Stella told them that she'd first try to find Robbie herself, and if she doesn't, she would update them and call the police. Frantic, Stella immediately searched for Robbie after dropping the call with his parents. "Are you sure you haven't seen him here? Where could he be?" she asked the children. Fortunately, one of the children admitted seeing Robbie at the park earlier. He was walking to the baseball diamond. Then he approached the old man that usually sat on the same bench, and they disappeared, the boy shared. "We should always see the good in everybody. My parents taught me that." Stella's eyes widened. "I knew that old man was suspicious. Why would he be sitting on the same bench every day to observe you? It was only a matter of time before he planned something," she said, shaking her head. Stella asked the children to stay in the field while she searched for Robbie. After walking around the park for a couple of minutes, she came back defeated and decided to call the police. However, as she dialed their local precinct's number, the kids started jumping up and down. They saw Robbie approaching from beneath the trees. "It's Robbie! He's here!" they yelled. Stella glanced where the kids were looking and saw Robbie walking next to the old man, holding his hand. She breathed a sigh of relief and ran to them. "Robbie, why did you run off with a stranger? You're not allowed to just go with anybody. Your parents taught you that right. It's dangerous," Stella said, almost scolding him. Robbie looked at the old man and asked him to sit on the bench. Then he walked towards the baseball diamond, where he explained everything to Stella and his friends. "The old man's name is Mr. Jefferson. I saw him crying on the park bench earlier, and I decided to find out why. We see him every day, but none of us have ever tried to get to know him. I figured it was about time," Robbie explained. "But he's a stranger. We don't know what his intentions are. He could have been crying to catch your attention," Stella asserted. "Your parents were so worried after I told them you weren't at the field like all the other kids." Robbie shrugged. "We should always see the good in everybody. My parents taught me that. Mr. Jefferson is a kind man. Today is his wife's death anniversary. That was why he was crying." Stella slowly started to feel bad for thinking the worst. Then Robbie continued to open up. "He used to play baseball in his youth and was once the best pitcher at his university. He watches us play because he said he remembers the good old days." The young boy also revealed Mr. Jefferson's wife died last year, and since then, he has been left completely alone. He comes to the park every day because being at home makes him feel his loneliness even more. He said he finds joy watching kids playing baseball, a game that he too once loved, Robbie shared. Stella felt terrible for the way she had assumed the worst of the old man. She called Robbie's parents and assured them that Robbie was fine. Stella and the children approached the old man and properly introduced themselves. The old man was delighted. "I have been watching you play baseball for months, yet I've never met you. I'm glad to meet you finally," Mr. Jefferson said, smiling. "I was once a baseball player too, you know." Knowing this, the kids had an idea. They invited Mr. Jefferson to coach them every day so that he had something to look forward to each afternoon. "Be our coach, Mr. Jefferson," they pleaded. The old man smiled. "I haven't played baseball in decades," he replied. But after the kids insisted, he eventually agreed. Well, "All right, you are all like my grandchildren. I suppose I could help you better your baseball skills," he smiled. Starting that day, Mr. Jefferson coached the children, and the aspiring athletes learned tips and tricks from him. While the kids played with Mr. Jefferson, Stella offered to go to his house to clean up and prepare a good snack for everyone. This became a daily routine. After their meal, parents would come to pick up their children from Mr. Jefferson's house instead of the park.